Hey, what's up, you guys? This is Sheila Beela coming to you with another review of Love and Marriage Huntsville, Season 6, Episode 18, Male versus Marsau. The episode picks up where I left off from last week when they were having the reveal of baby Ace. Um, it ended with Melody being very activated, talking about Marsau, saying that he was pathetic and whack and lame and petty and, everything else. So, but now this episode starts when they have the preacher lady, they're opening up in prayer because the event actually just started. It seems like they were there for a long time because you remember last week nothing was done. The balloons weren't up, the food wasn't finished. But now the event is actually starting. So as they're doing the opening prayer, blessing the occasion. Oh yeah, y'all don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I am a growing channel. And I would like for you to grow with me. The more that you like my content, the more it goes through the algorithm and more people will start to view my content. But while they're doing the prayer, Leticia comes in and Tiffany is actually surprised because she said that Leticia did not RSVP, so she didn't know if she was coming or not. So they do the whole prayer thing, but baby Ace ain't having it. He hungry. He ready to get fed. They give the baby over to Tiffany so she could feed her baby. So Kimmy and Leticia, they go off to fix their plates, and Kimmy is like, I thought you weren't coming and all that about the RSVP. And Leticia says she actually forgot to RSVP. So I don't know if she telling the truth or she lying or she just made up in her mind at the last minute that she was going to show up. But anyway, she's there. So they're sitting down at the table and everybody is being relatively quiet. But mind you, before Tisha got there, everybody was complaining about the expo and about not being on the panel and talking about how thrown together it was. And there was a lot of it coming from Stormy. So I was kind of looking at Stormy like, okay, so you had all this stuff to say earlier, like you were saying, it's not my problem, it's Leticia's problem. But when Leticia is there and she's hugging everybody around the room, you're giving Leticia the cold shoulder. Come to find out, Leticia said in her confessional, I don't even understand why Stormy is being so cold with her because they talked on the phone, they discussed their issue, they laughed about it, and everything should be squashed. So I think that's kind of contradicting to the conversation before Leticia got there and now after Leticia's here, because now Stormy is on mute. She's on mute. Because at first she was making it seem as if Leticia and her have not talked or anything. But now it's like hearing that they talked and hashed out the issue, she still has an issue. So apparently it's not a Tisha problem, it's a Stormy problem. I just thought that was okay. Stormy, now I always looked at Stormy as being relatively, kind of realer. Like she really wouldn't put on for people, but I don't know if she put on for the cameras or what, but I just think that was kind of weird. So then Kimmy, she brings up the whole Black Expo. And she was like, oh, Lord, we're not talking about the expo. That's what Leticia says. And they talk about it. And they say that Mel brings up her issue about, not Mel, Nell. She brings up the issue about her not being invited when they just saw when Nell had just saw Leticia at the baby's and Melody's daughter's birthday party, and Leticia said that they were invited, but they didn't get a call after that. Leticia said she wasn't calling everybody one-on-one. She just put the event out on social media and thought that they would come. I was like, Leticia, come on now. You know you didn't have any intention of inviting that girl, so I don't even understand why you even said that. I mean, at the end of the day, just say, well, I didn't invite you because I didn't invite you. But Leticia was really like pushed back. Like she was giving pushback. Like she was pushbacking. She was just giving pushback. She was just like, well, we talked about it and I apologize. Like, what more do you want? She was like, she was just like, I don't want to talk about it no more. I apologize. What do you want? And then Nell was still pushing. She said, well, I know that's shade. And she said, well, is there another way you want me to say it to you? Is there another way you want me to reiterate it or whatever she said or to re-say it? Like, how to make this not shade, because she said, I don't want to talk about it no more. It's OV. It's over. I apologize. It's done. Why we still talking about this? And I can kind of understand Leticia's frustration. I guess I can see both sides, because a lot of the girls were really talking noise about the event. Like they would, like, especially when it came from Stormy and Tiffany. They were saying that they was cluttered up together. It was like a what they say, something at elementary school event. Like they was really dragging her event. So I can understand why Leticia really didn't want to talk about it, because it looked as if it was a gang obsession, right? So I was with Leticia, like, I don't want to hear no feedback. I don't want no feedback. I don't want to hear nothing. Like, it is what it is. Talk to me some other time. And Kimmy is like, well, you don't want to receive it. She said no, because it doesn't seem like it's coming from a good place. And I totally understood that, right? So, what's this girl name? Tiffany, because now she's finished feeding baby Ace, and she comes over there and she's like, okay, everybody want to see the baby. So they get up and she brings the baby child. The baby looking like he done heard this conversation before. He's a cute little boy, but he looked like he done been here before. He's sitting up here looking at them like, y'all ain't talking about nothing. What? Child, baby Ace was baby Ace was mugging everybody. Like, what y'all looking at me for? Or whatever. I guess these COVID babies hit different. But anyway, so the grandmama come over and get little baby Ace, and what are y'all talking about? They do it again, and Melody this time brings up, oh yeah, we was talking about the expo. And Leticia again is like, oh, here we go again. Like everybody has something to say, right? So now, so now Tiffany is like, well, yeah, about her being on the front row, that whole comment. And Nell brings up the $100, and then Nell wants Leticia to talk about the $100. Leticia said, I don't want to talk about the $100. And then she said, Stormy, can you talk for yourself? You can talk. I'm not talking to Leticia. I'm talking to Stormy. If Stormy want to talk about it. Stormy look at Tisha like, do you want to talk about it? Tisha said, no, I don't want to talk about it. So nobody wants to talk about the $100. And then it lands in Tiffany's lap about talking about the $100. So while Tiffany is talking about the $100, Leticia gets up and she walks out. So this is the part that confuses me again with Stormy, because Stormy, you had so much to say. You had so many words, adjectives, and every synonyms about the way it was, comparing it to everything else. But now it's almost like you are coming, I'm not going to say you're coming to the defense of Tisha, but you're being more empathetic to Tisha. It's like, well, and I guess that could be true, because you can have an issue with somebody, but you don't want nobody to feel ganged up on. So she actually kind of extended a little grace to Leticia when she went over to Leticia and told her, girl, what's wrong or whatever. And Leticia just like, I don't really want to talk about it. I feel like I'm being, like I'm being attacked pretty much. So they go back over there and they sit down. And then Leticia's like, okay, girl, what's up? And they'll bring up, the $100. She says, so you lied. Okay, whatever you want to say. Leticia really not trying to give what they want her to give. She's really not trying to engage into an argument. She's really trying to keep it cute at the end of the day. So they talking about, you said nobody didn't get, y'all didn't make any money. So the thing about it is, no, they really didn't make any money. This is what I gather. Now, y'all may have gathered something different. What I gathered was they really didn't make any money. They came out of their pocket and they paid for everything. Now, if you got it, and they collected those $100 at the last minute, because remember, initially the event was free, but they had got there was an overflow of people. And so being that there was an overflow of people, that's when they started to collect money. Now that's what I got from watching the previous episodes. Now, did they make a lot of money? I don't think so. And Leticia was saying, well, I don't want to reveal my books. I don't have to talk about any of that with y'all. And if y'all want to complain about the expo so much, how about y'all do it? Okay, leave it up to y'all. Y'all do it. Y'all can take control of it. And then Tiffany had kind of said something to that effect as well. She was like, well, okay, well, everybody want to talk about the expo, then I mean, maybe we should just do another one. All right. And Leticia was okay with that. And then Kimmy chimes in. She was just like, look, we don't need you to disclose like all of your books or whatever. But being that we were involved, we need to have some type of round table or town hall to just understand the how everything went. Like, what is going on? Because Melody brought up the fact that Kimmy ended up having to pay, and all these different things. So can you just let us know the layout? What was what? And then, Tisha is just like, okay, whatever. She said, I'm here for the criticism, but I don't want the negative stuff. I don't want all that negative. I don't want to feel attacked. And I understand that because I don't want to be attacked either. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to sit up here and have to just run down everything I got going on. And Leticia also said, I think it's just because I put the event on. And I look at it too, like a lot of them think that Leticia is not they think that I know they know that she's smart because she has these degrees or whatever, but I think that I believe that they think that she is very green and gullible and naive to a lot of things, which Leticia can be. And I feel as though the ladies feel as if she's an easy target. But it really ain't even Leticia. It's mainly her husband Marsau. Because toward the end of the conversation, Stoney did begin to talk about it, and she said, well, Leticia, I really don't have an issue with you. It's really with your husband, because at the event you had my back. And Leticia said, yes, I did, because she didn't like how Marsau came. But then Child Stormy started saying that the man act like a lady, he want to put a wig on and all this other stuff. He like a beat, just really telling this lady that her husband is a woman. And Leticia really doesn't give too much back when she says this. She like, girl, he don't act like that. He just very vocal. And Leticia said, if y'all want to talk to Marsau, y'all can. Because he can handle himself pretty well. So I don't agree with you calling because you're not going to sit up here and call my husband no woman. I don't care what you got going on with him. You can say whatever, but you're not going to do that. You know what I'm saying? Even if it is true, I'm going to defend my man at the end of the day. You're not just finna be sitting up here doing it. This reminds me of Cynthia Bailey and Nene. When Nene told her that Peter was acting like a bee or whatever, So, and Cynthia didn't do nothing, but then later on in the episode, she ended up getting mad at Nene. But I'm just looking like, let's not do that. Let's not do the name calling. And just, what I'm saying? Have the one-on-ones with Marsau, have the town halls, and express express your thoughts. Tell them how you feel. So that's how I look at it with this whole conversation. So, Melody did also bring up the conversation that they had with Neil and all that stuff, and she said that she's going to end up having to talk to Marsau as well. So Melody let Tisha know, I know it ain't got nothing to do with you, it's your husband, and she said she gonna end up talking to him or whatever. So, because he be manipulating folk. He very manipulative. All right. So now you have Kimmy and Maurice. They are getting a new construction done on a building where they're going to put Credit One at. And the other brother, he doing a job, but he keeps pushing the job back. I think his name is Michael. He's pushing the job back and he's not meeting the deadlines. So that's a whole point of contention right there. And then Kimmy brings up the whole thing with Marsau and the event, and how Marsau is not telling everything, and how Marsau is having a lot of conflict with all these women. And she brought up like Tiffany and Melody and Stormy and all that stuff. And then Maurice is just like, Marsau, he can be very sarcastic. or funny or whatever he can be. But the thing is, he's rubbing a lot of people the wrong way and they have questions. Just the whole thing in regards to them paying and all of that stuff. They just really want answers and questions when it comes to that whole event thing. And and the same thing Maurice says, where did you get this information from? And she was saying she got the information from Neil. So, and he says he wanted to talk to Marsau himself. He wanted to get everything from the horse's mouth in regards if they made money, if they didn't make money, or whatever they had going on. All right, so I thought this they're now starting to show Nail's daycare, which is a good thing, because let Nail tell it, Tisha and Marsau act as if they didn't know that she had her daycares for what 29, 30 years. And that's one of the main reasons why she wanted to be at the Black Expo, because they have been in business longer than all of them, really. And in this, that's when Melody is like, well, was there ever a problem, again, when you supported Black? And they said, and Nell said that they have supported Black when Leticia wasn't even there. So she says, Nell says, Leticia doesn't know how much we have supported them. We don't know how much she knows. And then they bring down, this was interesting when they brought up that Leticia, because they had a really long conversation at that dinner table, and they really sliced it up, and they give a lot of flashbacks, right? So they bring up the fact that Leticia owns 85% of the business, because Leticia had asked them in the flashback how much of the business do they own. They said 50-50, right? And so Melody drops information about these construction loans that women can get when it's women owned businesses, right? And so if a woman owns a business, then they can really get all these grants and loans and all these different, the government really, they can get a lot of help from the government. Okay. So Melody says a lot of times men will put their women as the head of the business just so they can get that good government funding. And they said, and that leaves Marsau owning 15%. And then they have a new person in there that's kind of owning too. So what Marsau 7.5 and the other dude 7.5, like, what's going on? So really they're making it seem as if Leticia is just the face. So because she can get more funding for their business versus Marsau and whomever their other business partner guy is. And I was like, man, that's crazy. I was like, that's crazy. And they saying Leticia really don't know nothing. And that's why she getting kicked out of her own business. They just using her pretty much. That's what they're doing. And Melody said she really can't be mad at Leticia, because she notices every time when Leticia and Melody get closer, Marsau tries to drive a wedge between them, because Melody said because she gives this dominant woman energy. She gives this boss energy. She gives this energy like you can do this, and you know what I'm saying, this empowerment energy to Leticia, and Leticia may end up leaving Marsau manipulative self. She just may end up leaving him because she can get, when she finds out the potential that she has by herself, she really wouldn't need Marsau. She wouldn't, because if you can have a construction business and you can get all these loans, why you need your husband? Your husband really needs you more than you need him. I mean, but I know y'all married, y'all want to be on one accord and all this other stuff, but at least you need to know what's going on with your money. And that's been an issue between Marsau and Leticia for a long time. She don't know where the money going in their business. She really don't. She really doesn't have a lot of input. It's like she got them out of debt, and now she just got kicked out. And that's not cool. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I just thought that was real interesting. And it was something else that I was gonna say. I just forgot what it was. With yeah, and Melanie said she's gonna have to have a meeting. Oh, they also bring up Melody asks Nell, do you think that you could have a friendship with Leticia? What do you think about her? And Nell is just like, I don't know about a friendship. I think we could just be cordial. And I thought this was funny too, because Mel was talking about they had a GoFundMe that Marsau had some type of GoFundMe or Leticia some GoFundMe so they can raise money for some renovations. It was like what $150,000. And I was like, what? And then Melody tried to look it up and talk about, oh, she got me blocked. Well, I got her blocked. And then Nell was like, child, y'all ain't friends. Y'all ain't trying to build nothing. Y'all just doing this. Pretty much they just doing this for this show. And it is like almost they looked at each other like, girl, we just doing this for this show. And they kind of laughed. But I was like, child, go fund me. But anyway, whatever they got going on for their business, but Melody got to go over there and talk to Marsau. So then you have Kiki. Kiki didn't go to Tiffany's baby Ace reveal because apparently she was in a hospital. She said she just been going in and out the hospital. The husband think it's because of the methadone. She need to get off the methadone. And I just look at it and she said, no, it's not the methadone. But if you're talking to somebody that is that was addicted to pain pills and you still taking pain pills, even though it's a lower what's the word? Dosage, you still on pain pills. So does that help you or does it hurt you? Because you can get addicted to the methadone. And that's what but she said it ain't the methadone. And she said that, people treat her certain type of ways because of the whole court case. I mean, because of the crime stoppers and not crime chasers or whatever they call it. Crime stoppers. Even and apparently the husband was thinking that she was back on the pills too, because he was just like, I mean, I didn't think you was, but I mean it did cross my mind, you everything you got going on, he said he can know by the way that she talk and act and all this stuff. But I mean it did kind of cross his mind, like, is she? He said, but that's human nature to think the worst. But I mean, it is what it is. But I had looked up methadone. I was like, what is methadone? They said it's a pain list, but it's still a let me see what it was. It's still a opioid. But if you addicted to opioid, you still taking opiates. I don't know. I guess that cold turkey is a booger, child. I heard people almost, be unalive trying to go cold turkey off of drugs. So Kiki, I'm just gonna pray for you that get everything together. And yeah, Kiki didn't show up to the Ace party. Child. All right, so this is the whole sit down, the Melody versus Marsau or Marsau versus Melody. So they get there and they sit down. Melody says she came with the intentions, because at first she was upset, but then she put in her mind that she's not going to be upset with Marsau. She's going to come really light, and depending on his energy, will let her know if she needs to go this way or that way. All right, so Marsau's whole thing is, I know that Mel had went and talked to Neil and Chris, and he wants her to see where he's coming from, because in communication the lines get crossed, and or the communication isn't coded or decoded the correct way, and it kind of messes up the line of communication. Anyway, so they sit down and Melody brings up the whole thing about, of course, the conversation, and saying that he was pretty much shading her t-shirt business. And she was like, and that I've done other businesses other than this. This is, just one of them. And Marsau's whole thing is, he really doesn't, what's the word he used? He really doesn't appreciate. I think he said appreciate it. The business, the t-shirts. But she like, but you sell t-shirts. What do you mean? And he said he really doesn't accept it or appreciate it too much. He just using it to make money. That's not his main business, because he doesn't really care for it too much, because he is just something that he do on the side to make money. Okay, like they got the black, right? So he just sell t-shirts to make extra money. That's not his main goal. That's not his main objective. But he feels like that's Mel's main thing. But Mel is just like, you can't shade me with these t-shirts because that's one of the businesses that I do. And that's not fair for you to even come at me like that. You being real shady. And it was something that they were talking, and she had kind of put her hands on her eyelashes, and he was like, "Oh, don't cry, Mel." She was like, "Cry, boy, ain't nobody crying over you." He said, "You the one that's gonna be crying when Leticia leave you. When Leticia leave your manipulating self, you know." And she said when look, you always trying to cause a wedge between Leticia and her. Every time you see that they getting close, you try to stop it because you know she gonna get some of this good girl empowerment energy, all this old good. I don't really need you like that no more. And she gonna leave you, and you gonna be the one over there crying. And so it kind of end up going to like a to be continued after that statement. And I was just like, Marsau, it's not fair that you downplay people's businesses, especially if you got GoFundMe's or donation boxes or donation funds out there. And especially when you're using your wife to get funding for your business. And I understand Marsau is a very talented person. He can build, he can do all of these things. But I don't think that it's fair to make somebody else feel small when you're on the come up, because Marsau is he's really doing real live deals. You know, contrary to how we feel, Marsau out here doing his job. He's building a apartment buildings, he's building hotels, like he's building a lot of plazas, he's doing a lot of construction. But it's not fair for you because at the end of the day, you are, like I said on my last review, we know that Mel has had lucrative construction businesses. But just because she's not with Marsau anymore, she is no longer really with that type of branding. She's more into product selling. And Marsau says he's not really into product, but buildings, I mean, even though it's more of a asset type land type deal, it's still a product. Whether if it's a t-shirt or a building, you're in construction or whatever, you're selling yourself so that you can build. So you're a product yourself. You're trying to sell yourself to do things. So anyway, but overall I thought this episode was relatively good. I just didn't understand Stormy in this situation. Like, I'm like, are you mad at Tisha? Are you not mad at Tisha? Like, what's really going on? You know, whatever. But Nell is like a little firecracker. You know, Nell is getting it started. Like she not biting her tongue. And I do appreciate Leticia too, because Leticia not really biting her tongue like that either. Leticia feels like she just over it and y'all not about to bully her no more. that's what I get from her. You know, so yeah, anyway, this Sheila Billy. Y'all like, comment, subscribe, and let me know what you think about Love and Marriage Huntsville. And y'all have a great night. Bye.